Hello, my name is Margot Rieg. I am the co-president of the LA County League of Women Voters. The LA County League is composed of 10 local leagues. We are a nonpartisan political organization whose purpose is to promote the informed and active participation in government. We put on candidate forums as a part of our voter service activity, so that our voters can learn more about the candidates and make a more informed decision when they cast their ballot. The Los Angeles Superior Court is composed of nearly 500 judges, and every 2 years, 1/3 of those judges come up for election or reconfirmation. This year, we have 10 seats that were vacant, and these people we are interviewing today have chosen to run for a specific seat. They will be sharing their ideas about their experience and their goals as a Superior Court judge in LA County. Over the next 2 weeks, we will be recording an interview or a candidate forum with each of the 10 judicial seats that will be on your ballot, and those may be found on the League of Women Voters LA County YouTube page, and probably on several other local League of Women Voters YouTube pages. You can get more information about these candidates and candidates for supervisor and district attorney on the League's candidate website called Vote 411. Now I would like to introduce our moderator for the event, Dolores Gonzalez Hayes, who is a member of the League of Women Voters, as well as AAUW and Seroptimist. She has at one time been a public policy director for a congressperson and has done training on board and organizational management. So Dolores, I'd like to turn the event over to you.
Thank you, Marco, and welcome candidates to today's candidate forum. We will begin with your opening statements by each candidate in alphabetical order. You each have 1 minute to provide us with your opening statement, and we will begin with Mr. Sam Erbouchet. Mr. Erbouchet.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity, and I do apologize for coming in a little late. It couldn't be helped. I am Sam Erbouchet. I am running for seat 97, and I believe I am a very qualified candidate for this position. I base that statement on my very diverse and varied background, professional background, legal background, and personal background. I started serving in the Air Force. I later transitioned into the FBI, and then later still I transitioned into the VA's office, and currently I'm in the Army. As a legal practitioner, I have been practicing in criminal law for 12 years. I have tried cases from all types of cases, from DUIs to murders and sex crimes and family violence. I am also a defense attorney at the same time for the Army. So I defend soldiers accused of many of the same crimes that I prosecute by day for LA County. Before that, I was in law enforcement with the FBI. I did that for nearly 11 years. Before that, still, I was in the Air Force. Both with the Air Force and the Army, I have deployed overseas several times. With the FBI as well, I have traveled overseas many times, both to Europe and the Middle East. I have been tirelessly working on implementing justice in everything that I do from early on in my career, whether that was in the FBI or now today as a VA or as a defense attorney in the Army. And I do ask for your support and your vote. Thank you.
Okay, we will, thank you so much, Mr. Abouchet. Next is Ms. Lachey Henderson. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. My name is Lachey Henderson. I'm running for judge of the Superior Court, seat 97. I am a part of a cohort which is called the Defenders of Justice, and we are all running as judges for different slates. So as a defender of justice, I have dedicated my life to fighting for equal rights for all citizens. I have litigated 50 jury trials and over 25 court trials. I challenge antiquated ideologies that affirm mass incarceration, and I fight prejudice toward those who are marginalized by society. During my career, I have fought to implement restorative justice in our court proceedings. I have worked to create a legal system where litigants are not judged by the color of their skin, their financial status, or sexual orientation, but on the merits of their case. This is why we need judicial officers from diverse backgrounds with life experience that will bring new approaches to the criminal justice system. I am dedicated to creating an environment of dignity, professionalism, and equality in our courtroom. I will apply the law with thorough legal analysis, administer justice and fairness. My goal is to promote and encourage community organizations and outreach programs to assist individuals in the court system. I will combat recidivism by expanding the use of mental health treatment and programs to address homelessness. I was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles. Since I was a little girl, I have been passionate about defending those with no voice. My parents taught me the principles of discipline, patience, and perseverance. They taught me how to work hard, power through prejudice and discrimination, and achieve results. I will bring those same qualities to the bench. When I was just 12 years old, the dynamics of my family changed when my father's disability forced him to retire early. In order to support us, my mother had to go back to court reporting school while I took care of my 4 younger siblings. When I was in law school and studying for the bar, I lost both of my parents. I found myself navigating the legal system as a litigant to become a legal guardian for my siblings. During that time period, I mourned the loss of my parents while raising my siblings and studying for the bar exam. I have worked as a counselor, youth minister, mentor, and life coach for teens. I am passionate about juvenile rights, and I'm currently an adjunct professor at Pepperdine. I served as a deputy public defender for 18 years in Los Angeles County. I have litigated misdemeanors, felonies, civil contempt cases, which involve family law, probate law, restraining orders, and landlord-tenant law. I've done child support cases, and I've litigated juvenile petitions and worked in the racial justice unit. As a Black woman and a public defender, I have observed firsthand the injustices of our system. Throughout my career as a public defender, there were times when I experienced biased court proceedings, which have no place in our system. There are cases that are ingrained in my memory where the clients were Black or Latine, and the judicial officer showed no interest in my client's history. The case was handled with harshness and a higher sentence was given. And while standing in that courtroom, I knew that if I were representing a white defendant with the same or similar issues, they would have been given another chance. This is not equal treatment under the law. And this is why I fight to uphold the Racial Justice Act, which prohibits discrimination against anyone based on their race, ethnicity, or national origin. The Racial Justice Act examines the conduct of judges, police officers, and the probation department to expose racism and police brutality in California. Together, we can make a change and elect members of our society who are just, intelligent, and compassionate to ensure that justice is served. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is for the next person to provide their opening. The opening statement is Sharon Ransom.
I'm sorry, I just have a question. Is our opening only 1 minute or is it longer?
It's only 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that, but yes, it is 1 minute.
Okay.
Margot, can you put up the timer so that our candidates know when it's their time? Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Ransom. I'm running for Superior Court Judge in seat 97. I am running to bring balance and diversity and justice to the criminal justice system and to the bench. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles. I was raised by a single mother. I attended LAUSD public schools. I became a single mom at the age of 21. I put myself through school at night while raising my young daughter and working as a dispatcher for the LA County Sheriff's Department. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 30, and I didn't become an attorney until I was almost 40 years old. And I tell you this to tell you, I know the dedication, hard work, and perseverance, and what it takes to be a judge. I am currently assigned, I've been a deputy district attorney for the last 18 years. I'm currently assigned to the mental health unit, where our focus is on treatment rather than incarceration. I've also been assigned to the LWV unit, narcotics division, juvenile. I've done 45 jury trials. I've done a lot of court trials. I'm working in the community, teaching fifth graders about the criminal justice system and working with teens to prevent them from becoming a part of the system. I'm running to bring balance. I really hope to have your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the three of you. It allows us to learn a little bit more about your candidacy and what you stand for. We will continue with the question and answers, and each candidate has 2 minutes each. We will begin with the question to LaShae Henderson, followed by Sharon Ransom, and followed by Mr. Sam Arbouchet. So the first question, it is a two-part question. To become a judge, it is necessary for a lawyer to be a member of the State Bar of California and to have practiced law for at least 10 years. What additional background and experiences do you bring to the judicial position you seek? Do you possess any expertise in a field other than the law? Ms. LaShae Henderson.
Yes, so I have practiced law for 18 years. Actually, it's 19 years now since it's 2004. And I served as a public defender for 18 years. While I was a public defender, I also worked in civil contempts, which involve civil cases where preparing and looking at the background of your clients. You're looking at family law cases, probate law, and then preparing how to defend them in contempts. I've also done racial justice litigation and defended people who were treated unfairly by police officers and examined their case, prepared motions, and I've done training in the racial justice unit as well. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we will proceed with Ms. Sharon Ransom.
Thank you. Growing up in South Central Los Angeles, I've learned firsthand about the criminal justice system and how people are treated in the community and inner city and the things that they go through, the hurdles and the obstacles. So firsthand, I have that experience. But my legal experience, as I said before, I have been in the district attorney's office for 18 years. I've done parole hearings. I'm part of the recruitment unit to recruit diversity into the office. I have done several trials. I worked in several divisions, and I have a lot of common sense and life experience in addition to my legal experience with the district attorney's office. I have been in different units, and I've taught teen court. I've been training victim advocates. I've trained law enforcement on how to properly investigate sex crimes. I've done a lot within the district attorney's office that qualifies me outside of my other legal experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sam Arbouchet. Mr. Arbouchet. Can you
Please unmute yourself.
Yep, sorry about that. So I am not only a criminal law practitioner. I am not only a prosecutor. I am not only a public defender. I am all of those things, and I have practiced and continue to practice concurrently as both prosecutor and defense attorney. On the Army side, I belong to TDS, Trial Defense Services. That is a position akin to a federal public defender. And I have been doing that since 2014. And on the DA side, I've been doing that since 2012. I have done 50 trials on the DA side. I have done 40 trials on the Army side. But I have experience in not only criminal law, I have experience in civil law and practice in civil law. I have practiced in contract and fiscal law, immigration law. I have practiced in real estate law. I teach the law, both in the US and internationally. I have written legislation, proposals for legislation to Congress. So I am, of all the candidates running, the more and better rounded person with more varied experiences. I'm also first generation Arab American, and I know what it is to be a minority. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next 4 questions you will have 1 minute to respond. And the next question is, and we will begin with Sharon Ransom. So the question is, overall, do you feel the criminal justice system works fairly and effectively in Los Angeles County? And if not, why not? Next question is, do you think Los Angeles County courts do a good job of handling civil cases? And if not, why not? Ms. Ransom.
Thank you. So I think that there are a lot of cases, and I think it takes a long time for cases to come to court, especially on the civil side. The litigants can wait up to 2 years to have their day in court, and I think there should be something done to alleviate that backlog of cases. As far as the criminal justice system, I believe that everyone should be treated fairly. I believe sentences should not be issued in a blanket fashion, but individual to that case, depending on that person's, what brought them into court. We need to look at that and see if there's some mental health issues or there are some drug addiction, poverty, and deal with them that way. I believe that incarceration should be reserved for the most serious crimes, but we need to be more efficient in those aspects of the court system. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Arbushed, same question.
Yes, so the answer to both your questions is yes and no. On some level, things are running and are working, but obviously, as with any system, any organization, there is always ample room for improvement, and we should always be endeavoring to improve. There is a huge backlog, both in criminal and civil law. And it's not just a matter of fixing or putting a Band-Aid on the symptom. We need to dig deeper to see what the root causes are. I'm a big fan of how Europe handles a lot of their quote unquote criminal cases. So to echo some of the things that Sharon talked about, in Europe, for example, they don't see drug cases, for example, as a criminal case. They see it more of a social and a medical issue, and that is the root cause. And so we need to do a better job at identifying and working on issues at the root causes versus allowing them to come to court in the first place. And I do see that I'm out of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Lachey Henderson.
Well, as was already stated, there's some things that we do well. We provide trials for people who are not guilty, and we provide trials when people say, hey, I didn't do this. And so those things are wonderful, but there's other things in our system that need improvement on the criminal side and the civil side. I have experienced cases where my client received programs when they needed a mental health treatment. And I have experienced time where the judges are harsh or don't give an opportunity for people to make a change. I've sat in proceedings where there was a cross-cultural disconnect between the judicial officer and my client. And so there are many areas where we can improve. There are so many community organizations that are not involved in the court process, and we can involve them. We can bring mentors from our community and really start to nurture our juveniles who need direction and an opportunity to learn how to be productive citizens of society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Let's now go to the next question. If you observed a party in your courtroom being poorly represented by an unprepared or ineffective lawyer, how would you handle the situation? Mr. Arbouchet.
Well, so that's it's really a question that can't per se be answered in 1 minute. But suffice it to say, in my courtroom, justice is paramount. And so I will do whatever it takes to make sure justice is assured and given to all sides involved, including that party that is not being represented properly or appropriately. Now, it depends on the specific situation. That may look like asking counsel to approach for both sides and gently nudging the counsel to perhaps pay better attention or to perhaps talk to his client a little bit more about different issues. Again, this is not an easy question to answer. It just depends. In the most egregious forms, it could possibly be a warning on the record, if not something even more. But the bottom line, the guiding principle is assuring justice is provided and assuring everybody's getting an ample opportunity at that justice apple, so to speak, and that involves all sides. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lachey.
Well, thank you. In a legal context, you're going to always have different people with different levels of practice, different levels of experience. So you can't control if somebody's inexperienced. The good news is, as a judge, there is an opportunity to share certain things in court, to offer certain programs, to suggest certain things that were overlooked. You can always give people extensions if they seem unprepared. If there's a case that is just unjust, it can be dismissed under the law. And there's other ways that you can sort of suggest things. You really can't get involved in the representation of an attorney-client privilege type of thing. But if that client files a ineffective assistance of counsel motion, you can grant that motion if you see that the behavior is egregious. So you have to weigh it out as a judge to see what's appropriate and look at the facts.
Thank you very much. Ms. Sharon Ransom.
Thank you. I would have to agree with a little bit with what Sam said. It's a very difficult question to answer, and it depends on the circumstances, but at the very least, I think the court has the job of counseling that lawyer. And if that lawyer is in over his head, the court can also, without interfering with attorney-client privilege, tell that person in court what their rights are, explain the procedures to them, explain the process. Sometimes it takes a little bit more to do so. And also just counsel that attorney on what he should be doing as an effective lawyer, because there is an ineffective assistance of counsel claim to be had there. But I think the judge can control that issue as far as he can with explaining the procedures and the processes to the litigant in court. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The following question. In the area of hate crimes, what are some of the issues in balancing free speech rights against the need to control offensive activity? We will begin with Lachey Henderson.
Well, we have laws and statutes that govern what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So if someone is committing hate speech and it rises to the level of violence, there will be a case filed. And then there will be a trial, and I will sit as the judge and determine what happened. If that person is found guilty, then I would decide what sentence is appropriate. If I were working with juveniles, then I would look at, does this minor need more training? Did they grow up in a background where there was a lot of violence involved? And perhaps request that that minor go into a program, and then see if the public defender will work with me on that. And also sentence that minor to something that's appropriate to help them change their behavior and actually learn what's important in society. So each case is different. And so you would weigh out the facts and see what behavior took place and then what sentence is appropriate.
Thank you very much. Sharon Ransom.
Thank you. So there's speech and there are things that can be said, but when it rises to the level of criminal activity, that's where we need to step in. And we do have crimes that occur, and we do have enhancements where it's alleged that it's a hate crime, whether it be based on a person's race, sexual orientation, nationality. People will say whatever, but I believe when it hinges upon a criminal activity as far as assaulting someone because of that or robbing someone because of that, then there are crimes and there are allegations to deal with that and sentences. There could be some sensitivity training to have people make sure they're respectful of everybody and their situation while they're in court. But I believe that there are laws that address those hate crime issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arbushed.
So I'm somebody who has taught constitutional law, and I do know the U.S. Constitution spells this area of the law out very clearly. There's so much case law on the issue, and similar to what Sharon was saying, some conduct or some speech is protected, even though it's hateful. But if it crosses a certain line, then it becomes criminal conduct. I am somebody who was subjected to quite a bit of violence myself for being different when I lived overseas, and I am sensitive to those issues. I am also somebody who was not allowed to speak my mind when I was overseas because I was different. And so I do also believe in protecting our freedoms of speech in this country, and I respect those very immensely. But there is a balancing act, and the Constitution provides us that. And so when the conduct rises to the level to where it is a crime, then it will be addressed appropriately based on the facts of the case. And that could be anywhere from probation, education, a program, to incarceration, depending on what the conduct is and depending on what was proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next question. What have been the most effective methods for improving court procedures and efficiency? What other methods would you suggest to improve procedures and reduce delays? And it goes to Sharon Ransom.
Thank you. So I think making sure that attorneys are prepared, having all pretrial discussions before the day in court. We do that here in the mental health court. We go through our cases the day before, a couple of days before, especially with trials, and we have appearances where we discuss facts or issues that might arise. But we spend a lot of time on the record discussing things that can be done off the record ahead of court. Having the interpreters in court for non-English speaking litigants would be very helpful. We need more of those. We need more court staff to address those issues. But I think it's incumbent upon the parties to really be ready on their cases and not have unnecessary delays or continuances, but to be upfront and be ready on everything that they're going to be presenting in court. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Arbushed?
Yes, so what works relatively well right now is generally every court does encourage all attorneys to communicate in the background, and some of them push harder than others for that. And when that is happening, you do achieve much more efficiency in the process. The courts are lacking staff. I am generally never a big proponent of immediately just throwing more money and resources at anything. There should be a step back to look at what the root causes are. Again, I'm not a fan of the Band-Aid. I'm a fan of addressing things at the root cause. The root causes are, why are our youth getting in trouble? Why are our youth joining gangs? Why are our youth turning to drugs? And so again, can we help and pour the resources at that level to help those youth and others from not entering into the system at all, thus reducing the traffic into our courts?
Thank you very much. Lachey Henderson.
Yes, as far as efficiency, it's a balance of calendar. So if you know you have jury trials, setting them on certain dates. If you know you have shorter matters, setting those in the morning and then maybe doing your jury trial in the afternoon. So it's making sure that you calendar well, and then also it would be understood also that the parties would work to resolve things outside of court. And if something is taking longer than it should, then we'll recalendar it, and just making sure that things are running smoothly. If I know the next day I have a trial, making sure that the interpreter is on point, that everyone knows what is needed in that trial, and then also speaking with the parties and trying to plan ahead of time if you know you have a heavy schedule. Also, I would work with the other judges to see what's working for them in their courtrooms. I'm always willing to improve and learn. And if there's a judge that's really efficient, I will partner with that judge and find out what they're doing to move things along. So it's a work in progress. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now we come to the concluding statements by each candidate, and each of you have 1 minute. We will begin with Sharon Ransom.
Thank you, and thank you for having us this afternoon. Again, I'm Sharon Ransom, and I am running to bring balance to the court. All the things that we've discussed are things that I would take into consideration as a judge. I have been a prosecutor for 18 years. I've worked not only in incarceration, but treatment, seeking treatment for individuals that have mental health issues, homelessness, poverty. I believe it's important to be diverse and be a part of the community that we are trying to serve. I've been a public servant for over 35 years. I want to continue that, where I make decisions that affect people's lives in a fair and impartial way, and treat everyone with respect and dignity, and have the opportunity to be heard. I've been endorsed by the LA County Democratic Party, the SEIU 721, several judges, several organizations that all have faith in my ability to be a good, just, and fair judge. And that's what I want to be. And I really hope to get your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Lachey Henderson, your concluding statements.
Yes. So one of the things that I definitely want to bring to the bench is legal research, really taking the time to read the law and apply the law with precision. I also want to work with community organizations surrounding the courthouse to incorporate mentorship, community-based programs into the proceedings when appropriate. I also want to work to eradicate the cross-cultural disconnect that happens when people have a lack of understanding of cultures, and provide an opportunity to really mend the gap and bring healing to our communities and our society. And it will give people more faith in the system when they see judges that care about their families and about their communities. And more importantly, to really keep a keen eye on discrimination or any procedures that need to be changed to make sure that people have a fair trial. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Mr. Sam Arbushed.
Yes, thank you. So much under the law is in the gray area and subject to judicial discretion. That's why it is paramount when anybody is trying to decide which candidate to vote for, to look at that candidate's experience, diversity of experience, because that's going to inform how that judge is going to exercise his judicial discretion when it comes to so many areas under the law. So little is in the black and white area, the vast majority is in the middle. And so I come to you with that diversity. Again, I am not only a prosecutor, not only a defense attorney. I am not only a criminal law practitioner. I am somebody who has diversity in so many different areas under the law. I am somebody who has had a full career before becoming a lawyer. I am somebody who has traveled internationally. I am Arab American. I have been subjected to hatred and discrimination in various different countries. So I know what that's like. And all those experiences, the good, the bad, and everything else in between, will inform how I exercise my judicial discretion. Thank you.
Thank you very much to everyone for the answers to your questions, your opening statements, and your concluding statements. Margot.
There, had to unmute myself. I would like to thank all of you for participating in this, the first of 10 judicial forums the League of Women Voters will be conducting during the next couple of weeks. In addition to posting these forums online, we at YouTube on League of Women Voters of Los Angeles County website, the League has created the Vote 411 website, and we encourage all candidates to complete all the questions and comments on the website, as well as adding their picture for the benefit of our voters who will be seeking more information at vote411.org. I thank all of you for taking time out of your very, very busy schedules to join us. And I commend you for running for judge. This is an extremely important position within our county and makes a huge difference in our delivery of justice to the people within LA County. So thank you all very much, and good luck to you in your race.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.